Hey guys, how are you doing? This is Sam here, back with yet another video on AWS Learning Series, and we will be covering security, identity, and compliance today. So the same drill. I want you to remember these are the key components of AWS. These are the key service offerings, and let's jump into this. So the very first offering from AWS under security, identity, and compliance is IAM. IAM stands for Identity Access Management. As the name says, it will help you to manage user access and encryption keys. You get to do things like user management. You can control groups. You get to create roles. You can change the password policies and so on. So this is one of the largest and one of the important topics for the exam. We will be releasing another video with a lab session on this, and we'll be covering each and every aspect of it in that video. So moving on to the next item, we have something called as Inspector, another managed service from AWS, wherein you can take care of your application security. What it does is it will install a particular agent on your EC2 instances. This particular agent or this daemon service, it scans for security related items, and in turn it will feed you with application security information. So this is not a part of the exam as of today, but it might change. But it's essential that you have the knowledge on Inspector, at least on a high level, what it does and things like that. Then another service from Amazon is WAF and Shield. WAF stands for Web Application Firewall Service. So this will be helping you to filter malicious web traffic to your application and to your instances. And another thing is certificate manager. As the name says, you can have complete control over your certificates, SSL and TLS certificates. So again, this is not part of the exam, just have the high level knowledge on this. And then we have a new offering from Amazon. This was announced in reInvent 2016. It's known as compliance reports. So compliance reports, it's an artifact repository wherein you have all the information on your compliance related reports. So compliance reports on demand, that service is from that service is classified as or known as compliance reports. Then we have something called as directory service. As the name says, again, this will help you to host and manage active directory integrations with within AWS. Things like Microsoft AD and all, it will be covered in this particular thing. Again, these things are not even part of the exam, but at least have an understanding what it does and what it is all about. So the same drill, guys. I want you to remember these are the key components or key service offering from AWS as of today. So let's get started with management tools under which we have got quite a few services. The very first one is CloudWatch. It will help you to monitor your resources and applications which are hosted inside AWS. What it does is it creates it let you to create custom dashboards which will have details like CPU health, CPU utilization, disk utilization, network status, network utilization, and the instance availability or status. So those are the things which you can do with CloudWatch. And then CloudFormation, it is one of the innovative way wherein you get to work with templates. By using templates, you can create and manage resources within AWS. So if you want to create an entire infrastructure, you can do it within seconds or minutes by using the templates. What it does is it converts the entire infrastructure to code, and you can do all sort of manipulation on that without thinking about the infrastructure. You have the flexibility to change your own codes, and in turn internally it will change the resources. So that's about CloudFormation. And then we have something called as CloudTrail. What it does is this service from AWS, it will let you to track user activity and the API usage. So it will log each and everything, what does the user did, how the API was used, and so many things. And then we have something called as config. So this will help you to track resource inventory and changes. So you can treat your infrastructure based on the inventory, and you can apply so many things. If you want to make any configuration changes, you can do it by getting into this config part. Then we have something called as OpsWorks. So what it does is it takes help of Chef. Chef is an interesting tool. Most of the people will be knowing it. What it does is it helps you to automate your infrastructure. If you have thousands or more than hundreds of servers, you can automate all of them, all the operations by using Chef. So AWS, they will help you to automate your operations in your infrastructure by using the capabilities of Chef. So that's what OpsWorks do. Then we have something called as service catalog. If you want to create and use standardized products, this is the place you can start with. And then we have something called as Trust Advisor. As the name says, it's a service from AWS, which will help you to optimize the performance and security. So they have got two different versions of Trusted Advisor. You will get a version in free tier, and then enterprise tier will have more options. So what it does is it gives you advices based on your infrastructure and the application. It scans all the things, and then it will throw you with advices on performance, how to optimize it, how you can improve the security, and so on. And we'll be talking about application service now. So the very first slide, I want you to make yourself familiar with this particular thing. This is the entire AWS offering, or the structure, the architecture. So be familiar with this. And under application services, we have got quite a few offering. The very first one is step function. This is relatively new, and this was launched in reInvent 2016. It was announced during that. So since it is relatively new, it's not coming in the exam, but understand that this is to coordinate distributed applications, and you can create custom functions there, some sort of custom action. And then moving on, we have something called as API Gateway. What it does is it's a fully managed service that will help you to manipulate or create, publish, and monitor API at any scale. So it's an API management service which will help you to build, deploy, and do all sort of manipulations with that API. Again, this is not coming in the exam. And then AppStream, same is the case here. It's not featured in the exam, but understand that this is something like low latency application streaming. The best example is Zenap. You might be familiar with that. You can stream Windows applications from cloud without any hurdle. You don't need to do custom code modifications or changes just to make this possible. Amazon will take care of that if you are using AppStream. So it's an essential way to stream your application without any sort of issue. And then Elastic Transcoder. This is easy to use scalable media transcoding. What it means is you can format or convert a video file, and you can make it compatible across different sort of platforms or different sort of devices. So one video can be transcoded into multiple devices. So Amazon has an offering, and using Elastic Transcoder, you can get it done. And then SWF, it stands for a Simple Workflow Service, and workflow service is for coordinating application components. So what it does is it will help you to run background jobs and build things. So take a good look at this particular slide. Whenever someone is talking about one of the components, I want you to understand what it does and what it is capable of. So that's the best way to crack this. And then coming to developer tools, we have got 4 different offerings from AWS. First one is Code Commit. Then we have something called as Code Build. We have Code Deploy. We have Code Pipeline as well. So Code Commit, Code Deploy, Code Pipeline, it was already there with AWS. Then Code Build, it's relatively new service which was announced in 2016 reInvent conference. So let's see what Code Commit is all about. So as the name says, developer tools are for developers. It helps them with various features. So Code Commit, it provides private Git repository where you can store your code. So maybe you are familiar with this terminology, source control service or source control tool. So this particular code commit, it acts as a source control service or private Git repository for storing your code. Then we have something called as code build. What it does, as the name says, it will help you to build your code base, and you can test the code, and it does the code compilation. So it's essentially a building tool. When it is building, it does the code compilation as well. Then we have something called as code deploy. It will help you to automate the deployments. Whatever package or whatever things you have built using code build, you can feed it to code deploy, and it will take the package, it will deploy to your target site or target instance. Then the final one is code pipeline. Code pipeline is for releasing software using continuous delivery or CD mechanism. So don't get confused. This continuous delivery service for fast and reliable application updates. This is how you will be rolling out the application updates. So let me tell you one thing. These things are not even featured in the exam, but it's essential that you know what it does. That will help you to have a nice understanding about AWS platform. So that's all I have for developer tools. I mean, under developer tools. That being said, that's all I have got for now, guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. So these are the entire service offering from AWS, but don't be overwhelmed with this. We have seen most of the services. We have covered AWS global infrastructure, networking and content delivery. We have seen compute, storage and database services. We have seen analytics, security and identity in a nutshell. We have also seen management tools. We have seen about migration service. We did talk about developer tools, and bear with me, I'm not following the exact order here. Let's talk about messaging now. So messaging, it was this new grouping or this new section. It was announced as part of 2016 reInvent. I'm not saying that SES, SQS and SNS, these services were not there before 2016. It was there, but Amazon has decided that we will group them under messaging section in 2016 reInvent. So here we are under messaging. We have got three different offerings. First service is SES. It stands for simple emailing service. As the name says, it's a secure way of sending and receiving emails. So it's an email service. Then we have SQS. It stands for simple queuing service. It is to it's message queuing service. You get to define your own queue. You can create your own queue and integrate it with other applications or other entities. And then SNS, it stands for simple notification service. As the name says, it's a push notification service from AWS, fully managed. You get to decide what to do with it. So we have almost we have covered almost all the components, and let's talk about mobile service. So under mobile service, we have got quite a few. First one is mobile hub. It's a managed service or an offering from AWS, which will help you to build, test, run and monitor mobile applications. This is for mobile application developers. And then we have another offering known as Cognito. Cognito, what it does is it will help you to save the application preferences, user identity and app data synchronization. So for that you can use Cognito. Then we have Device Farm, which is a great offering from AWS. You can test your own application. You can create your own application and test it in any Android, iOS or other mobile platforms or web applications in a real device, that too on the cloud. So you get to do that by using Device Farm. And then we have Mobile Analytics. As the name says, it's an analytics service for your mobile applications. You can collect and you can view or you can export the application analytics. Then we have Pinpoint. So Pinpoint it's the push notification service for mobile devices. You get to define, you get to control them by using Pinpoint. And then since these are mobile services, it is relatively new, and these doesn't feature in solution architect associate exam. So the IoT, it's also known as it stands for Internet of Things. So we have almost covered all of it, and only few are left out, and we'll be covering them as well. So as I said, IoT, it stands for Internet of Things. This is really big and innovative topic of AWS. It's relatively new as well. Everybody might have heard about IoT. People are talking about IoT these days, and I have a strong feeling that this will be an upcoming or a, what do you call, important topic, and this will be huge. So this is a way to connect all the devices to the cloud. It's a proposed development of the internet, in which every day object have network connectivity, allowing them to stand and receive data. So this is a concept, a brand new concept, wherein all the devices you have has network access. So one device connects to another, and it triggers an entire workflow. The what do you call, opportunities in this field is mind blowing actually. So you should really watch out this section, and it is still expanding, but for the solution architect associate exam, this topic is not even there in the exam. So that's all I have for now, guys. So game development, it's a new offering from AWS, and what it does is it will help you to deploy and scale session based multiplayer games. But again, this topic is not even coming in the exam, solution architect associate exam, but at least you should know what it is. And as I said, this is only for the people who are into game development. So GameLift, that's a service which these people can make use of in AWS. And that being said, I know this has been a short video, but yeah, let's move on to the next component, business productivity. So we have seen almost everything here, and we have been doing in a nutshell overview what it does and what it is capable of, what are the underlying offerings from AWS. So business productivity, we have got two different services. First one is WorkDocs, and then WorkMail. WorkDocs, it provides a secure enterprise storage and sharing services within AWS, and WorkMail, it's a secure email and calendaring service from AWS within cloud. So this can be used for your business productivity, and we'll be talking about desktop and application streaming. I know the previous video they were pretty short, and even this one will be. The reason is these things are not even part of solution architect associate exam, and it's better that you know about them at least in a higher level. You should have a basic understanding of each and everything here. So desktop and app streaming, we have got two services. First one is Workspace, which will help you to launch your own desktop in the cloud. You get to choose between wide variety of operating systems. You can choose your own CPU configurations and memory requirements and so on. So for that you can rely on Workspaces. Then we have something called as AppStream 2.0. We were having AppStream 1.0, and then Amazon decided to retire that, and they've released this AppStream 2.0. What it does is it will help you to stream applications securely to any web browser. So based on the native device and web browser, the applications will will be compatible. So for that you can use AppStream 2.0. It doesn't come in the exam, and that's why we have decided we will not talk about this any further. Artificial intelligence, which is also known as AI. So AI, it's the last piece. We have covered almost everything here. We have seen what it is capable of in a nutshell about each and every component. So let's talk about AI. AI or artificial intelligence, I know most of the people will be familiar with this concept. It's relatively new domain in the computer science field. So let me tell you something about it. So it'll enable computer systems to replace humans, wherein repetitive tasks are needed. So you are expecting computer systems to act and think and respond like humans. So that's all about artificial intelligence. And talking about Amazon's AWS artificial intelligence offering, this was announced in 2016 reInvent conference, and this is relatively new. We have got 4 different offerings under this. First one is Lex, we have Poly, we have got recognition, and finally we have machine learning. So Lex, it will help you to build voice and text chatbots. So you might be familiar with chatbots. They will talk, or they'll respond like humans. So for that purpose, building voice and text chatbots, you can use Lex. And then Poly, it will help you to turn text into lifelike speech. There are tons of applications which will be using this functionality, and those things where they need this turning the text into lifelike speech, they can rely on Poly. And then recognition, that's another managed service from AWS which will help you to search and analyze images. You can upload the image, and Amazon recognition service will analyze the image. It will tell you what are the things present in that image, so it can interpret to that granular level. And then machine learning, it will help you to build smart applications quickly and easily. When I talk about smart applications, we are talking about the new generation applications which will have what do you call interaction capabilities, interactive capabilities. And it doesn't feature in the exam, because this is relatively new topic, and it's not required for solution architect associate level. But still, keep an eye out on this area. I have got a strong feeling that AI, it's gonna expand like anything. So yeah, with that said, this concludes the overview of all the AWS key topics or components. And I'm planning to release another videos. I'll start with how to create an account for Amazon or AWS, and then from there onwards we'll be focusing on lab sessions. You can watch those and do the same thing over in your account. So please take your time to familiarize with the key concepts and the terminologies that we have covered in the previous videos. And that's all, guys. Thanks a lot for your help and patience. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and give us thumbs up and a like if you really like our videos. It's a great boost actually. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.